everyone, it's Erica Olson with On Strategy. Today we're talking about how to build actual action plans. And this is such an important topic because by the time we get down to action planning, oftentimes we're a little fatigued with our strategic planning process, let's be honest. And action planning is so important because this is really where the action happens, where our plans really get implemented. So action plans answer the question, how will we achieve our goals? So I'm going to give you a walkthrough of how to build a great action plan and some of the components to what you might need to be thinking about. All right, so let's jump in. So first things first, what are we building an action plan for? So let's agree, in this case, we're building it for an initiative. So we've got our big strategic goals. We've got our annual objectives. So where are we going? What are we accomplishing this year? And how will we achieve our goals? That's what our initiatives are, right? In this case, I'm going to use an example of building an initiative for succession planning. Everybody's doing succession planning these days. It's a big topic. So let's agree that our initiative that we're building an action plan for is to deploy succession plans across the organization. Awesome. Let's think about our action plan in three broad buckets. Bucket one is what must we achieve? Bucket two is what do we need to be successful in implementing? And bucket three is how will we accomplish our initiative? First things first, what problem are we solving? In this case, we're solving a knowledge management or a knowledge transfer problem. We don't want our good knowledge walking out the door when everybody retires. I love this question. We know this initiative will be completed when? What? When all of our first level and second level people in our organization have succession plans. That's what completion looks like. So all 1 and 2 have plans. Great. And what's the scope? What's in scope and what's out of scope? Also super important. So I sort of just mentioned it here, but what's in scope is first level and second level of your organization. Everything beyond that is out of scope for this initiative. Super. Moving on. What do we need to be successful? So this is really do we have what we need, money and people to successfully implement this initiative? Let's see. Do we need additional budget? I'm going to say no, we don't need additional budget. We know how to do this. Do we have the capabilities? Our HR team has the capabilities. Yep, they sure do. What dependencies do we have? Well, we have dependencies on the first layer. Let's just say they're VPs. We have dependencies on the VPs coordinating, cooperating with us to build succession plans. And what might some roadblocks be? Really great question, right? So roadblocks might be time of those VPs and honestly, willingness. So let's agree that that maybe is not a top priority. That might be a roadblock to completing the initiative. Super. So now we've thought about it a little bit more deeply. Let's move into the actual action item development. How will we accomplish the succession plan? There's some ideas over here. This is where folks get a little stuck. So let's get unstuck. Just have some examples here. I like to start this by thinking first about what are the major buckets of work and then deciding when we're going to do them. When we try to do that at the same time, we get a little muddled up. So I just would actually literally on sticky notes say, well, what are the major buckets of work of building succession plans for the first and second level of the organization? Well, we need to create a standard. So probably need a standard template, standard process, standard approach. We need to identify who the high potentials are. That's what HPOs are. Who are the high potentials? So who are we actually building action plans for? We need to roll it out. That's a bucket of work, right? The rollout, communicating to the first and second level what we're doing, what tools they have, how to do it, what the process is, when it's due. And then people actually need to fill the action plans out. So that would be maybe the fourth bucket of work. Once I have the buckets of work identified, I would literally decide when am I going to complete them. So let's agree maybe in quarter one, we're going to actually build the standard and we're going to identify who we're building succession plans for. In quarter two, we're going to get everybody trained on what we're doing, and we're going to ask for all succession plans to be done by quarter three. And just as a comment, great action items should start with a verb and be clear about what we're delivering. So we are creating a standard template for succession planning. Awesome. That's just an example. So with that, that's a much more robust way to think about action planning, to make sure that we've thought about what are we really doing, what's in and out of scope, do we really have what we need to be successful in executing this initiative, and then really thinking clearly about when are we doing what? So what do we need to do? Just what are the buckets of work? And when are we going to do them? And then of course we would assign owners to each one of these based on whomever is going to get it done. So with that, that's how you build actual action plans that will help bring your plan to life. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button if you like our content. Subscribe to our channel. We're dropping videos every Friday. Happy strategizing.